In order to determine if a source is indeed a scholarly article, we have a couple of tools we're going to talk about. So first, there is the Anatomy of a Scholarly Article resource that is available through NC State's library. This tool provides a really good way to identify if a very stereotypical looking article is in fact a scholarly article. So this resource allows you to click through and identify very generic pieces of a scholarly article. They all have abstracts, they have reference lists, there's an introduction. All of these pieces are described and they explain what those pieces of this scholarly article do, like how they serve this genre of communication. It also talks through how even the title and the author information is important. So we see here the author and their credentials will be provided for a scholarly article. And that sometimes they might appear as a footnote or endnote, and the author's credentials are provided to establish authority. So in that, you can use that lead-in to help determine if the article you're looking at, if it doesn't fulfill this format, if it does contain those pieces that help you determine if it's scholarly or peer-reviewed. So to kind of take a look at a resource and talk through how you determine if it's a scholarly or peer-reviewed article, I want to go out and find something from the library's database. So if I'm researching public speaking and racism, and I find this source entitled "Just Joking: White College Students' Responses to Different Types of Racist Comments," I could use this anatomy and break it down into all those pieces and determine if it is in fact a scholarly article. But what I want to do here is maybe pretend that this doesn't look exactly like this, that maybe there's a layout or different format that I don't recognize. But I want to decide if this is in fact a peer-reviewed or scholarly article. So I'm going to actually open up a whole bunch of different tabs, and we're going to look less at the content of the article and more about the pieces. So we see here that this is the title of the article, and here are those authors. We also see that it's published in the Journal of Diversity in Higher Education, which is looking like it's published by the American Psychological Association. So if I copy this title, Journal of Higher Education, and I go out into a commercial search engine, so I'm opening a new tab, and I search the Journal for Higher Education, I come up with a list of search results. And I see over here, there is this nice little call out box, and it says apa.org and journals. I have apa.org publication journals, DHE. And it looks like I have a Wikipedia article too. In the absence of getting these top few hits, you can always use Wikipedia to try and find that root website or the website owner that you're looking for. Sometimes Wikipedia might pop first, and that's okay if you're trying to access that publisher URL. You're just looking to move away from Wikipedia very quickly to just use it as a resource. But since we looked out, we have the Journal for Diversity in Higher Education. We can click on this link and we'll come to this site. So this is the publisher's site. So there's the American Psychological Association banner and navigation menu up here. We have the journal here. We have the editor listed. It tells us its impact factor, 5-year impact factor, a whole bunch of other stuff that maybe I'm not super interested in or know how to parse. Remember, I'm looking for things that are going to establish its credibility. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look at the description. And in the description, it might say it's peer-reviewed or it's a scholarly article, which would be amazing and quick and fast. But even then, you might want to just double check and see if there's other ways to determine if it is in fact peer-reviewed. So to do that, after you read this description as to what this journal is or does, you might want to check out the editorial board and see who the editors are. You don't necessarily have to know who Kimberly A. Griffin is, but you do see that she has a PhD, as well as all of the associate editors. Okay, so, and that's something that we can easily check out. You see that they're all affiliated with these organizations that are mostly universities. So if we were to go out to those university websites and search for that person's name, they should come up as a member of the faculty, or at least a staff member or membership to that given educational institution. So let's just say that maybe this is a giant cover and this is actually not a peer-reviewed journal article or peer-reviewed journal, and it's all lies, right? We want to double check and make sure that we can point to a couple of different pieces of evidence that say this is a reputable resource. So I see that the editor right here, Kimberly A. Griffin, is hyperlinked. I'm going to check that hyperlink. And it says under her credentials that the Journal of Diversity in Higher Education is in fact peer-reviewed original research. Cool. But again, this is published by the APA. Maybe I want something that kind of supports who this person is and tells me that they are in fact a specialist in the field. So I can go out to the University of Maryland College Park and search her under the faculty list, but maybe I want to go a little bit further down. Maybe they haven't done all the background checks on some of these other consulting editors. So if I look up Lorenzo Baber at the Loyola University of Chicago, I could University of Chicago, and I'm going to copy Baber's name, dump it in exactly as it appears. And I get the illinois.edu, who we are, staff. Cool. So as you can see, it's purple. I've already clicked this link. Rather than waiting for the page to load, I'm going to go up to this tab. And I see that Lorenzo Baber is in fact an associate professor in the School of Education at Loyola University. We have the person's credentials, their PhD in higher education from Penn State, and we have their research areas: post-secondary access and retention for underrepresented population, diversity in STEM, and community college leadership. If we return to this article and the topic of this article, and if we were to read the abstract, we find that this person, Lorenzo, Dr. Baber, is both a specialist in this field and is a peer to these authors. So we've corroborated that the Journal for Diversity in Higher Education both calls itself a peer-reviewed article or peer-reviewed journal, that we've checked on the editors, and we see that they have the appropriate credentials. So now let's talk about the authors. Jennifer Katz, Claire Grant, and Christine Merrily. So they all work at the State University of New York at Geneseo. So employing the same technique that we just used for the editors of the Journal for Diversity in Higher Education, we're going to do the same search. So if we go to SUNY Geneseo and we look up the primary author's name, Jennifer Katz, because they rank the authors based on their contribution to the article, we're going to find out if, in fact, Jennifer Katz is both a professor at Geneseo, but then also that her specialty is related to this topic. Well, here she is, Jennifer Katz, professor of psychology. And we see that she's a coordinator for Pathways Peer Advocacy, and that she has areas of teaching interest. So clinical psychology, advanced research in psychology, peer advocacy, other areas of research interest. So we can see that this person is not as specialized related to this topic. White students' responses and different types of racist comments, but she is a psychologist, and she has enough areas of interest that would support her as being a reputable resource to the contribution of this of specialized content for this article. So in this really quick lateral reading around this article, we haven't actually read the article. What we've done is we've created a list of credentials that support this as being a peer-reviewed scholarly article. So now you guys just have to do the same.